Hey guys, I have a confession to make, so you want to stay tuned for this one and listen all the way to the end. Enjoy. When I was younger, I used to have a huge problem with pulling my hair, that I became straight up bald. I always had an abundance of hair, never had an issue with growth. I was the occasional tender-headed child, but nothing too major or out of the ordinary. Fast forward and getting older, I became overwhelmed with the pressures of life. Just like any other child, I did not have many friends, and my brother and sisters were quite older than me, so they could not relate to me. On top of that, mix in your casual bullying, stress, and always missing the opportunities to fit in, and you have yourself a cocktail of common teenage woes. The same old sad story, and if you can imagine, it took a toll on me. Drugs, gangs, terrorizing the neighborhood could have all been an option, but instead I resorted to just yanking out my hair, and I'll be honest with you, it felt really good to me. Just like a crack addict's first initial high, I was chasing that feeling. I don't remember the root cause or how I even began to start pulling. I just knew that it relieved all of my stress and how difficult it was to stop. I had no control over a subsection of my life and how to deal with the innumerable pressures and the need to be accepted. Each pull felt like a release of anger, rejection. I felt accepted, and even though it was damaging to my hair and scalp, to the point that I would bleed sometimes, the crazy part is it didn't bother me. I had bald patches everywhere and it was totally embarrassing. Every strand I was screaming for help, and every release felt like a rescue, a false sense of security. I was in a cycle of torment because the very thing that was hurting me, I received a prize at the end, and not a good one at that. Overall, I was lying to myself and needed control over the chaos that was happening all around me. It tarnished my self-esteem even further and made me look at myself as ugly, unattractive, and unwanted. This was habitual and a habit that was damn near impossible to break, so I thought. Matthew 5:30 says, if your right hand causes you to stumble, cut it off and throw it away. It is better to lose one part of your body than for your whole body to go into hell. Now, I'd be really screwed, and I wasn't planning on going to hell. But I wanted a much different alternative, one that will allow me to keep both of my hands and keep the hair on my head. In science, the problem is known as trichotolomania. I've Googled the term and this is what I found. Also known as trick is when someone cannot resist the urge to pull out their hair. They may pull out the hair on top of their head or in other places. Trick is more common in teenagers and in young adults. Trichotolomania is also known as hair pulling. It's an impulse control disorder. It could be caused by anxiety and stress. It can coexist with another anxiety disorder. However, psychiatrists consider it as a separate illness and not an anxiety disorder. Even my mom was stressed out. My mom did the best she could by coming up with different remedies to help me along the way. If you think I was bullied back then, it was much worse now. I even heard one of our gym teachers making fun of me with another student, kids singing the infamous bald headed skeety dee don't got no hair in the middle song was sung by many of my oppressors. I had bald spots everywhere, all over my head. And we all know kids could be very, very mean. It was so bad that I wore my hood and hat everywhere I went, even in 90-degree weather. It was quite embarrassing. My mom never heard of this problem before, so she decided to get on her Windows 95 computer to put a name to this issue and how to combat the root cause, and began the process of growing my hair back. Even though we had the internet back then, there wasn't much information surrounding this problem or media channels such as YouTube and articles, so we were pretty much left in the dark. Moving forward, what really helped me was making daily confessions of how I wanted my life to be, and I kept telling myself I will eventually have victory over this issue. Even though it took me a while to stop pulling my hair, I was able to successfully begin the process of mental healing, praying, and having those daily affirmations really helped. But I also wanted to be a normal kid again, and I wanted my hair back, of course. Peppermint essential oil, rosemary essential oil, cedarwood, lemongrass, thyme, clary sage, tea tree, lavender, just to name a few, can definitely speed up hair growth. The articles that were available and that stood out in common were peppermint stimulating essential oils that will encourage growth and thickness. You want the scalp to be stimulated and get the blood flowing in the right direction for growth. So peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree oil creates a cooling sensation on the scalp and increases circulation once it's applied. Your hair is composed of keratin, a strong fibrous protein, and is built from cells similar to those on your skin. The average number of hairs on the human scalp is 120,000 and may vary to different ethnicities, hair types, and hair colors. The thickness, color, and hair type is already predetermined before birth, but there are ways your hair can change due to insurmountable stress, negligence, medications, different types of foods you consume, diets, daily handling of hair, which involves mechanical wear and tear. Tea tree was a big component of getting my hair back on track and restoring my follicles. Apart from soothing an itchy scalp, reducing dandruff and flaking, and preventing excess oil production, tea tree oil improves blood flow and allows nutrients to reach hair follicles, balances the pH levels of the scalp, and stimulates the hair growth cycle to give you a head full of strong, healthy hair. The thickness of my hair is very much still present, but I notice my strands are a bit finer than I remembered. I attribute that to just the normal aging process. Hair growth goes through 4 different phase types, which includes anagen, catagen, telogen, and exogen. Each phase lasts for a different length of time. In life, we also go through the growth process of forgiveness, healing, knowing, and seeking. My hair pulling, I was pretty much interrupting my normal biological growth pattern of my hair. I had already forgiven myself and I understand that life happens to all of us. It was a part of my life that whether it be good or bad or in between, there's always a lesson to be learned. There's always going to be something out of our control, but we have to handle it, which is the most important part of any battle that we face. I'll leave you guys with this word of encouragement. Speaking positive words about yourself and your hair, in this case, is very much important whether you believe it or not. Proverbs 18:4, a person's words can be life-giving water. Words of true wisdom are as refreshing as a bubbling brook. In Proverbs 15:4, gentle words bring life and health. A deceitful tongue crushes the spirit. Thank you guys for watching this video and listening to my story. I greatly appreciate it. If you yourself are dealing with the same situation or something very similar, please comment down below. If you know someone that's dealing with a very similar situation, share with them, give them some encouragement. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.